You see, they say no one is above the law, but what happens when the very people enforcing the law are undermined by the people writing them? ICE just arrested a NYC Mayoral candidate, deported thousands of migrants, and now the FBI is tracking who funded the riots, finally. This first clip is wild, though. Check this out.
You don't have a judicial warrant.
Keep going. Push. Back up. Sorry. Back up. I'm gonna make this difficult. Sorry. Back up. Just back up. Let's not cause any problems.
I will let go when you show me the judicial warrant. Where is it?
Sir,
where is the warrant?
I have my hand here.
I would like to see the warrant. I would like to see the warrant, and then I will let go. I would like to see the warrant, and then I will let go. Take him in. 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 Let's go. You don't have the authority to arrest U.S. citizens. Sir, you don't have the authority to arrest U.S. citizens. You don't have to. I'm not obstructing. I'm standing right here in the hallway. I asked to see the judicial warrant. By asking for a judicial warrant? You don't have the authority to arrest U.S. citizens asking for a judicial warrant.
Go too. Sorry. No way. I'm safe. Where are you taking him? Hello? Hi,
Since you have no authority to arrest U.S. citizens, where are you taking me? And with what authority?
Why are you arresting me?
With what authority?
And where are you taking him? No!
Security details. Number one is going to go with him, all right? Hang on. Where's number one? Hold on. Brett, number one right here, all right?
Sound like PDB. John Hawkins added up under here. Lander tried to sneak a man out of Doge detention. That sounds like something that could lead him to jail time. If he's guilty, put him in jail would send a really good message. I agree. Because ICE didn't just show up to protest. They put cuffs on a Democrat city official, someone who thought that they can interfere with federal agents. And instead of consequences, I want y'all to see what happens next. This right here is an article from the NY Post. Trump administration's 3,000 ICE arrests per day quota is taking focus off criminals and kill morale insiders. Now, I'll just summarize what this article, was about as opposed to going through and just reading it all. While this was happening in terms of Brad Lander getting arrested, a report dropped exposing that ICE is now being pushed to deport 3,000 migrants a day. According to insiders, agents are being told just arrest whether they're violent or not, according to this article. But hold that thought, because now we go from enforcement to who funded this chaos.
Hello, I'm Bill Asaley, United States Attorney for the District of California.
And I'm Akil Davis, the Assistant Director in charge of the FBI's Los Angeles Field Office.
And I'm Tyler Hatcher, the Special Agent in charge of IRS criminal investigation here in Los Angeles.
The right to assemble and protest peacefully is protected by law. Unfortunately, we've seen individuals whose intentions are to cause damage and to assault law enforcement. For example, last week we arrested an individual who was charged with conspiracy to commit and aiding and abetting civil disorders. These violent agitators put peaceful demonstrators at risk.
The FBI and our federal partners will continue to investigate individuals and organizations who are knowingly funding or committing acts of violence against law enforcement, as well as the destruction of property.
We are currently tracing money to determine who is providing funding for these riots. Funding crime doesn't just affect the criminals, it also disrupts entire communities. Each dollar funneled into illegal operations fuels violence, undermines law and order, and perpetuates fear. Make no mistake, we will identify and disrupt financial networks supporting these criminal activities.
Think before you act. The legal consequences for financing or aiding and abetting these crimes are harsh. They include imprisonment and fines.
If you have any information regarding individuals and/or organizations providing financial support to commit acts of violence or destruction of property, please dial 1-800-CALL-FBI or visit tips.fbi.gov. You can also upload your images and videos to fbi.gov/LA officer assault.
The United States government will continue to safeguard constitutionally protected rights, but we will not tolerate assaults on law enforcement, destruction of property, or any violent acts that puts the community in harm's way.
Now, I would love for New York Post to verify their, according to insiders, who is their insider. I'm not opposed to 3,000 illegals getting deported a day. Good for the Trump administration. But the FBI and IRS just launched a joint task force to find who paid for the LA riots. And as our friend, I don't know if he's still our friend anymore yet. We got to wait to see how it all plays out. But as our guy Bongino would say, we got to follow the money. You can feel the weight of it. You know, they naming names. But while they're tracing riot money back in New York, I want y'all to look at what happens next.
And that's when I got word of what had happened to my colleague in government, our controller, Brad Lander. The video is shocking. I knew I needed to come down here immediately and check on his whereabouts and do what I could to intervene. I'll let Brad speak about his experience. But to my knowledge, the charges, there are no charges. Charges have been dropped. He walks out of there a free man. But here.
Wow. And right under this post, Dapper Detective says New York Attorney General assisted Kathy Hochul in having all charges dropped against Brad Lander. These people are dangerously corrupt. That's right. Governor Kathy Hochul stepped in and had all the charges dropped against the same guy ICE just arrested. So the system is willing to protect politicians while ICE agents keep taking hits. Let's go to the crowd's reaction real quick.
The people united will never be defeated. 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 The people will never be defeated.
Now, you would think he came home from a war, but this wasn't courage. This was interference. And the fact that they celebrate this speaks volumes. The same people calling for justice are now cheering someone who obstructed it. And if that wasn't enough, I want you to listen to how he frames it next.
ARC, the organization that I was volunteering with today, and all the other volunteers that are here. I'm New York City Controller Brad Lander, and I'm happy to report I am just fine. I lost a button. But, you know, I'm gonna sleep in my bed tonight, safe with my family. I'm grateful to hear that the charges are not being brought, but if they are, I've got a lawyer. I don't have to worry about my due process rights. At that elevator, I was separated from someone named Edgardo, who I had just met a couple of minutes earlier. Edgardo is in ICE detention, and he's not going to sleep in his bed tonight. So far as I know, he has no lawyer. He has been stripped of his due process rights by a government and a judge that owe him a credible fear hearing before they deport him, and yet have decided instead to strip folks like Edgardo and the prior gentleman that I walked out with, whose native language is Yoruba, and who only got a translator in French. And so when the judge said, do you understand what it means that after I dismiss your case, you'll have no status? He said no status, as he recognized what was about to happen. So I will be fine, but Edgardo is not going to be fine. And the rule of law is not fine. And our constitutional democracy is not fine. This is the third week in a row that I've come down here.
Just read a few comments before I comment. Somebody said, oh, FAFO. What else? Where did this prop come from and why? Great question. Oh, the drama. Somebody said, what a clown. Who would that Edgardo be? Why so vague? He can leave soon. We told him leave, as these comments are reading. But he said, I lost the button, but Edgardo didn't make it home. I want y'all to pay attention because this is how the narrative always shifts. This is how they try to do it, from accountability to emotional manipulation. But what about the people that are enabling it?
This organization, Churla, that has been running around fomenting the rage that has riled up communities totally irresponsibly. This is a political organization. It is practically an arm of the government. We now know that this organization, 72% of its funding comes from the state of California, from the Department of Social Services. What social services are they providing? Most of their activities are political activities in partnership with the unions, with SEIU, to stoke fear, just as Governor Newsom was stoking fear in that ridiculous television broadcast the other day, talking about military dragnets, stoking fear and anxiety in our immigrant communities. This organization...
Now, if you're still wondering where the fuel behind the riots is coming from, one activist group behind the unrest, 72% funded by the California government. That's state-sponsored chaos right there, y'all. Now, I accidentally had these clips out of sync because I wanted to lead into this clip with they're not running to serve, they're running to protect their mob. But of course, me being who I am, I make some errors here and I don't do complete edits. Now I want to talk about how Zoran got caught at the Tesla riot. That's what I meant to get into first. However, y'all know we're going to be professional about this and still make it sync.
You're running for mayor? Yes. Isn't this not First Amendment activity, shutting down a business 3 weeks in a row? How many New York City businesses could tolerate to close their location 3 weeks in a row? This is an economic attack on Tesla. How can you sanction this? You will never be mayor. This is not the use of the First Amendment. This is, step away from me. Don't advance towards me like that. Yeah, you did. You just came up to me in a threatening manner and you're advancing towards me. Back up.
This guy wants to be mayor too, but he's out here disrupting businesses and defunding the police while claiming it's all about justice. This makes absolutely no sense. And when it's time to take responsibility, LA leaders blame ICE after refusing to cooperate. Can't make this up, y'all.
I am demanding full accountability and reimbursement for the local costs incurred, including injuries to local officers and damages caused by the chaos unleashed when the Trump administration recklessly deployed the military and ICE agents into our communities. They are the ones who created this unrest, and they are the ones that need to foot the bill.
The gaslighting here is on 10. So let's break this down step by step. ICE enforces immigration law, which is completely legal and part of its mandate. Local officials in LA refuse to cooperate, making enforcement more public and more dangerous. Protesters and rioters then respond with violence, looting, and destruction. Local leaders in LA really do nothing until the situation becomes untenable. Then they blame the federal government, not the rioters. They then demand federal funds to pay for the chaos that they allowed. I'm talking top-tier gaslighting. They act like enforcement is the problem, not the people breaking the law or the ones rioting. They treat accountability as like provocative, like it's escalation. Then they use the destruction that their own people caused, right, to then demand money or siphon money from the federal, or attempt to siphon money from the federal government, and then to push anti-Trump narratives. If you think about it, they're quite literally trying to shift responsibility away from the people breaking the law and put that responsibility on the people enforcing the law. It's pathetic.
Yeah, man, they won't work with ICE. Then ICE steps in to clean up the mess. And now they blaming ICE for the damage that they caused and allowed. Make it make sense. They're not just avoiding responsibility, y'all. They're gaslighting the entire country. Crowd cheers Lander walking free. But this time, in this clip, I want you to notice who's standing right beside him.
Everybody's going to need to give them some room. Please help us so we don't have to do anything uncomfortable. Thank you.
Room! Avi and I are making a path. We are going down to the podium. We are going down.
Makes no sense, y'all. Somehow it always ends like this. ICE gets villainized, rioters are getting protection, and politicians walk away with this applause.
Kathy!
Well done. Keep moving.
And right beside him.
Walk.
All right, thank you, Brad.
What will you do to
Walking. Come on.
Walking, everyone. Move back.
Keep walking. Folks, there's a podium. You're going to get so many better shots. You got to move. Come on, we got to move, everybody. This is going way too slow, my friends. Come on.
Yeah, the Jericho walk's on a different day, I think, if you want to like walk slowly around these buildings.
Back up, guys.
Back.
I didn't hear my best.
All right, guys. Keep moving back.
And y'all see right beside him, the same governor who dropped the charges. There's a two-tier system being built in front of us, and they're not even trying to hide it, man. Do you think Democrats think they are above the law, as this question asks? Somebody said, yes. But above that, oh my, in the old days, he would have been subjected to a discussion in the back room. He could have been counted on to not reoffend, but not so much anymore, whatever that means. Now, Arnold Schwarzenegger joined The View and went full Terminator.
But the key thing also is at the same time that we got to do things legal. That is the important thing, you know. So you got to do things legal. And those people that are doing illegal things in America and that are foreigners, they are not smart. Because when you come to America, you're a guest. And you have to behave like a guest. Like when I go to someone's house and I'm a guest, then I will do everything I can, keep things clean, and to make my bed and to do everything that is the right thing to do rather than committing a crime or being abusive or something like that. So that doesn't really work in this country. So I think the important thing is when you become an immigrant, to think about, okay, I go to America because I want to use America for the great opportunities that America has in education, in jobs, creating a family, all of those kind of things. Then you have to think about, okay, if I get all of those things from America, then I have to give something back. You have a responsibility as an immigrant to give back to America and to pay back to America and to go and do something for your community for no money whatsoever. Give something back to after-school programs, Special Olympics, or whatever it is. Make this country a better place.
Now, to the best of my knowledge, I never thought Arnold Schwarzenegger was somebody who was a Trump supporter. In fact, I thought it was quite the opposite. This isn't him necessarily complying or claiming to be that of a Trump supporter. However, it's refreshing to hear from an immigrant speaking common sense. You know, it's a rare twist. Someone from their own side finally said the quiet part out loud. You come to America, you have to behave like a guest. That's all everyone ever wanted. Respect the country. Don't riot in it. So let's recap. ICE arrests a city official over 3,000 migrants are getting deported a day. FBI launches a criminal investigation. Thank God, we got to follow the money. And the people responsible for the chaos, they're throwing rallies and getting their charges dropped. So ask yourself, if lawbreakers walk free and ICE agents get punished, who's really in charge? Y'all be safe. Go check up somebody today. You could be saving their life. Peace.